Good evening. We're going to start with lesson 29 in our fraction unit. I can estimate sums and differences using benchmark numbers. So guys, I just want to show you, we're going to really focus and talk about estimating, all right? And when we see a sign like this, we know that this is equal. All right, we're used to seeing a sign like that. Something like this now is a squiggly equal sign, and that means about. So today we're really going to look and focus on this type of sign when we are estimating our sums and differences. So when we want to show an estimate, we're going to be using this squiggly type of equal sign than that. So let's get started. Okay, first one, estimate each sum or difference to the nearest half or whole number by rounding. So 3 1/10 plus 1 3/4, if we look at this mixed number, we see this fraction, and 1/10 is very small. Would we say 3 1/10 is closer to 3 or 4? And I would have to say that this is more closer to 3. And if we look at 1 3/4, we know that 1/4, this is 1/4 and being away to the next whole, which would bring us to 2. So this would equal 2. So 3 plus 2 is 5. So that's our rounded answer. So when we want to say 3 1/10 plus 1 3/4 and we want to estimate it, we're going to use that squiggly line and say it's about 5. It's not totally equal to 5, but it's about 5. And that's what that squiggly line represents. All right, the next one we're going to estimate 2 9/10 plus 4 4/5. And I just want to show that this is going to be a squiggly because it's going to be an estimated answer. So 2 9/10, I would say it's 1/10 being away from the next whole, which would be 3. And 4 4/5 is 1/5 being away from the whole, which would give us 5. 3 plus 5 is 8. So 2 9/10 plus 4 4/5 is about 8. And again, there's my squiggly line to show about. Estimate the sum to the nearest half or whole number by rounding. So 16/3 plus 17/8 is around about equal to what? So what we're going to do is we want to change that 16/3 and 17/8 into mixed numbers. So let's start taking that and finding those wholes. So let's pull out a whole. So we have 3/3 plus 3/3 gives us 6/3. We can continue. And another third. So that would give us 9/3. We can continue to go. That would give us 12/3. And we think we could go up another one to 15/3, which would really equal 15/3, which would give us 5, but we have 1/3 left over. So this one represents 5 1/3. And then we have 17/8. So let's take a whole out. 8/8 plus 8/8 gives us 16/8. And then we have 1/8 left over to represent 17/8. So this would equal 2 wholes and 1/8. All right. All right, so now let's take 5 1/3. And basically, that third would be very closer to being a half, since it's broken up into thirds. So we're going to say that this is 5 1/2, that we can round this to 5 1/2. But over here, 2 1/8, that 1/8 is very small. So this one would be much closer to 2 than a 3. So let's put this down for 2. So this is equal to 7 1/2. So up here, 16/3 plus 17/8 is around about 7 1/2. All right, we're going to estimate 10 3/4 plus 12 11/12. And we're going to say that's around about what answer, what sum. And we look over here, we see a 3/4. That is 1/4 away from being 11. and 1/12 being away from 13. So we can round these up to the next whole, which would be 11 plus 13, which would be 24. So 10 and 3/4 plus 12 and 11/12 is around about saying it's equal to 24, around 24. There's those curly Q of being equal or close to it. All right, we're going to estimate 15 and 9/12, take away 8 and 11/12. So we're looking at 9/12, and we can say that is pretty close to being 16. So let's turn this into a 16. And 8 and 11/12, I have to say that's 1/12 from being the next whole, which would be 9. So 16 take away 9 equals 7. That definitely equals 7. But when we want to say it's close to an estimated answer, we would say 15, 9/12 take away 8, and 11/12 is around about 7. Hello there, it's raining tacos. Hey, I'm Taco Man. Keep calm and be the best you can be with these next problems. Now I'm in the mood for Taco Bell. Okay, well, 4 1/9 take away 1 and 1/10. Estimate it and then solve it. And I want to see your work tomorrow. 2 and 9/10 plus 4 and 4/5. Estimate your sum, and I want to see your work tomorrow. You owe it to yourself to be the best you can possibly be. Excellent job. Have a great night.